there's an extraordinary scene on January 6th that she recounts where Republican members are sort of being asked to sign these sheets for electoral vote objections. And she writes about Congressman Mark Green of Tennessee. As he moved down the line, signing his name to the pieces of paper, Green said sheepishly to no one in particular, "The things we do for the orange Jesus."
He called him the orange Jesus?
Yes.
Not exactly a compliment.
CNN has obtained some tidbits from former Representative Liz Cheney, a Republican congresswoman from Wyoming who did not get reelected. She has an upcoming memoir titled Oath and Honor, which is set to be released next week. Now she spills the beans, okay, about what went down after the events on January 6th. Let's take a look.
This is 2 days after the election. Cheney writes that McCarthy told her that he had just spoken to Trump and that McCarthy says, quote, "He knows it's over. He just needs to go through all the stages of grief." Cheney then writes that it's her wry sense of humor that the stages of grief also apparently included tweeting in all cap letters. But Jake, there's also another sort of stunning anecdote about Kevin McCarthy. We all remember the photograph when just 3 weeks after January 6th, there it is, Kevin McCarthy goes running down to Mar-a-Lago. He's afraid he can't raise money anymore.
And just, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
no.
this is a lifeline. Everyone thought that the Republican Party was going to rid itself of Donald Trump. Everybody had spoken negatively about him, but then McCarthy does this, and it basically, he's like Phoenix from the ashes. Donald Trump is renewed.
Correct, and nobody knows this trip is happening. And Cheney writes, actually, when she saw that photo, she thought it was a fake.
Why? Why would she think that photo is a fake?
It seems so natural.
They look so comfortable.
Two butts hanging out
in each other's presence.
Arms are tough. What do you do with them?
No, you know what?
I don't know.
I actually agree. I have a difficult time knowing what to do with my arms during photos. But they look so uncomfortable. Like it's so clear to me. I mean, I know McCarthy's not a fan of Trump and feels he's a necessary evil for his own political aspirations. But aside from that incredibly embarrassing photo, which McCarthy ran to Donald Trump after condemning him on January 6th, right? He took the floor and gave a short speech condemning Trump for his role in inciting January 6th. And then he realized it wasn't politically advantageous to do that. And then ran home to daddy to beg for his forgiveness. It's so embarrassing. But what are your thoughts about the latest revelations here, John?
Yeah, that by the way has always stood out to me as one of the worst parts of all of that. Like having a politician who refuses to admit that they've lost, that's gonna happen, it happens all over the place. Having like, a cabal of weirdos around them, their inner circle who are willing to do whatever, that'll happen. Even having some elected officials who are willing to try to like throw things into chaos, or having like a mob who can break, like all of that is one thing. But then having some Republicans be like, at long last, we've crossed the line that should have never been crossed. And then they look out there to the country and they're like, oh, no, nobody has a problem with this, this is actually okay. That is the worst part of it. Because that's a massive group of people. That is enough people that they think their careers now need to be in line with the coup. So that's the part that's always bothered me the most. Him being willing to like give the speech condemning him and then go and kiss the ring or whatever.
It's so embarrassing.
It's just so terrible.
Just completely unmanned by Donald Trump.
And then
his supporters,
Sure, and look, all of this is based on us believing Cheney, which I guess for this stuff I'm willing to, but she has nothing political left to lose, I suppose, at this point, although she does want to sell the books. But also Kevin McCarthy apparently knowing as of 2 days after the election that it was done, and he had that information that whole time, and he just sat on it, and people like him not doing anything is one of the things that helped us get to January 6th and helped the violence actually happen.
When Kevin McCarthy first got elected into Congress, he, along with a few other freshman Republicans, I think Eric Cantor was one of them, I don't remember the third. They referred to themselves as the Young Guns.
Was it Paul Ryan?
It was Paul Ryan,
yeah.
yes. Like, yeah, you know, like tough guys, we're the Young Guns. We're gonna switch things up. It's like, you ended up just being a little bitch. That's it. So, I mean, look, I know that's not the best commentary, not the expert commentary you'd expect, but come on. I mean, how else can you describe this? Now, McCarthy defended that Mar-a-Lago meeting by saying that he was on a quest to build unity in the party, right? The party was just in shambles. There was all this division. He wanted to build party unity ahead of the 2022 midterm elections.
Horrible explanation.
Horrible.
Why are you building unity with the side that tried to overthrow the government that you said was responsible for it?
He was trying to build unity at the ballot box behind him. That's what he was building unity for, okay? Yeah. Now, according to Cheney, which, look, I actually think, considering how much Cheney hates Donald Trump and Donald Trump's supporters within Congress, I think it's fine if people are skeptical about her claims. I really do.
She's a Cheney.
Yeah, and she's a Cheney. I mean, I trust her as far as I can throw her, and so it is what it is. But I'll share what she claims. Now, she claims that McCarthy's excuse for visiting Trump at Mar-a-Lago following January 6th is not true. That's not the case. When Cheney confronted McCarthy about his powwow, she exposed just how much of a sucker McCarthy seems to be for Trump. Although I don't even know if that's the right framing. I just think that Republican lawmakers see Trump as a necessary evil for their political survival. That is my take on it. But let's take a look at this next video for more details.
Cheney, Mar-a-Lago? What the hell, Kevin McCarthy? They're really worried. Trump's not eating, so they asked me to come see him. Cheney, what? You went to Mar-a-Lago because Trump's not eating? McCarthy, yeah. He's really depressed. She also reveals that, look, she was not the only one. She talks about other Republicans were, quote, angry and disgusted that McCarthy had gone running back to Trump. And there's a text that's going around, and she writes that her Republican colleagues, quote, some mocked him, circulating that Trump-McCarthy photo along with, get ready, the clip from the movie Jerry Maguire, where Tom Cruise tells Renee Zellweger, you complete me.
Come on. Come on. Do you believe that?
That some random politicians were doing that? Sure, it's stupid, so yeah. What does the Jerry Maguire thing have to do with it? Like, what a weird disconnected reference. Yeah, they're close, I guess. You're trying to make it a romantic thing. They are very homophobic. Yeah, I buy it. They probably did that. Yeah.
You do?
Some rando Republicans were like, yeah, I buy that. All of them in turn have to at least publicly pretend that they love Orange Jesus according to them. But they all hate it. They all have like simmering self-hatred for it. So all of them will love an outlet to be like, the other people are more deferential than me. I don't bow down like them. And then as soon as Trump looks at them, they bow down. I buy it. It's the part of the story that I care by far the least about, but I buy it.
Okay, I guess I'm skeptical. Something about it just doesn't sit right with me, like sit well with me. But if it is true, how are we supposed to expect people who don't have any self-respect to respect us? Okay, like you don't even have some dignity. If it is in fact true, have some dignity. Anyway, finally, according to CNN's Jamie Gangel, the hypocrisy of the Republican Party is pretty prominent. It's a big theme in this book, especially from the diehard Republicans who at one point were in fact against Trump. So one final video for you, let's take a look.
Of all the stories in there, what's the most surprising to you?
I think actually it's the number of stories like that. It is the hypocrisy, it's the duplicity. It's all of these things are being said in private. And they're mocking Trump and they're saying, well, we just need to do this one last thing, or he's not eating, or we know he's lost.
Or what I do for the orange Jesus.
What I do for the orange Jesus.
I'm gonna contest the electoral vote because I got to, but I don't believe it.
She has, throughout the book, she talks about Mitch McConnell, how at first he told her that he was in favor of the impeachment. And she watches his evolution and then pulling back. So I think it's this notion that they were all in the right place for about 15 minutes, and then they all went running back to Trump.
Yeah.
Do you believe the whole thing about how Trump wasn't eating?
Do I believe that Kevin McCarthy said it to Cheney, or do I believe that that was the reason? What, like?
I just
imagine.
Look,
Trump's down there. He's depressed. He's lost. Please get me Kevin McCarthy. It's the only thing that will help. Why would that help? No, I mean, look, he would love to have someone suck up to him,
right?
To kiss his ass. Yes.
Yeah.
It's not like they're buddies, like they need to play a round of golf or something. And I don't know that I believe it. I think it was Kevin McCarthy again trying to do that double-faced thing where he's doing what he has to get Trump and the Trump people to like him, but he also doesn't want to admit to other people, including some that he might have worked with for years and years in DC, including Liz Cheney, that, oh yeah, I'm just an empty suit and I just do whatever the Trump people say that I have to do. So he's gonna come up with something like, no, I was just, I was trying to help out.
No, totally, no. I'm starting to believe that more and more because McCarthy basically. Because if you're the kind of person who enters Congress as a freshman congressman and you refer to yourself as the young gun, yeah, you wanna brand yourself in a certain way. And the antithesis, like what is counterproductive to that branding, is being this like pathetic, sniveling fool for Trump when in reality you don't like him. In reality, you don't agree with him, and you were furious with what he did on January 6th, and in the lead up to January 6th.
Yeah.
God, it's just, look, I want to believe that it's not rare for people to be like me, meaning I'm going to tell you what you don't want to hear, and you're going to like it. Okay?
There's no evidence of that.
No evidence at all. Like I can't do it. I can't look you in the eye or look into that camera and say garbage I don't believe. I can't do it. I can't do it. And look, I've said things in the past that I've changed my mind on and I've corrected, or at least updated my takes when I feel like it's necessary. So change of mind is okay. I think that everyone goes through that. But like literally knowing that you are saying something or you're supporting someone or something that you don't believe in, don't support is just so weird to me.
There are a lot of people with like, I don't know, I'm not a psychologist or whatever, but low grade sociopathy, like not just in politics, but we've seen it in media. We've seen people who are just, they are so desperate and hungry to be famous or influential or powerful or rich or whatever, that they're just like, just tell me what I need to say. Like I'm just gonna say a bunch of things and whichever one you clap for, then that's my personality now and I'm just gonna say it more. Yeah. And they self-radicalize in pursuit of something. We've seen that.
I think it's really important in life to find your crew, if you know what I mean. And what I mean by that is
the young guns, your young guns.
No, it's you're gonna attract certain people based on the way you behave and act, right? And so Kevin McCarthy and the other Republicans, if all of this is true, and look, there are other cases that I think corroborate this culture that you're seeing among Republican lawmakers who have provided cover for Trump even though they disagree with him and in some cases despise him. Again, I can't emphasize enough the amazing conversations I had when I debated Ben Shapiro at the Pennsylvania Chamber of Commerce. The conversations I had behind the scenes were far more interesting than what you guys saw on camera because it's mostly Republicans there. They hate Trump, okay? Like despise him. Couldn't wait to get a moment with me so they can tell me how much they hate him because they know that they have a sympathetic person who's been critical of Trump. But publicly, like the cowardice really bothers me, especially when it has to do with elected officials, public servants. Look, these are Republican lawmakers. I disagree with them on policy, and so it's not really gonna affect me. They're not my representatives. However, I think it's unfair to their constituents because they're lying to them. They're misrepresenting who they are and they're misrepresenting what their actual genuine feelings are in regard to Donald Trump. And they're doing it for, it's politically expedient in their minds. They think that this is helping, but they're really selling out their own constituents and lying to them. They're being dishonest, and I think it's unfair to them.
If you enjoyed this video, that's because of our members. They make us independent, they make us strong, and they make us honest. Become a member today by hitting the join button below.